I'm Susan Rushton, and this is Muse. And before I go any further, I need to explain about Muse. The Muses are those delighted by art who make communities better by urging and applauding art of all kinds. The 8 Muses digged all along ago were the goddesses of sciences and the arts. The Muse lady I have here today is Kerstin.
Kerstin?
Kerstin
Allvin.
Allvin.
Yes.
Kerstin?
Yes.
Kerstin Allvin.
Mm-hmm.
And she is a harpist. She plays the harp, the concert harp. She is a harpist. And you probably see part of her, one of her several harps over here. We're going to hear about it later. Welcome, Kerstin.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yes.
Thank you for asking me.
Oh my! I'm glad you could do this.
Yes.
How long have you been a musician?
My whole life.
From 5 or 15?
I think I started piano with my mother at around 6. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I didn't start to play harp till about 9 or 10.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What started you with the harp?
Well, it's an interesting story. I'll try to
Okay.
tell it really fast. My father was a musician, Reynold Allvin, and we were from San Jose. I was born in San Jose. And he was attending San Jose State, getting his master's degree in music and conducting and organ. And he met my mother and was dating. And my grandmother, my mother's mother, told me this story, that he would come over to her house and listen to a piece that's written for harp by Maurice Ravel, the Introduction and Allegro, very famous piece for harp and strings. And he would come over to the house and lay on the floor and listen to this piece because they had the first stereo in the neighborhood. So he would listen to this piece and always wanted a harpist, right? So when my mother first had a boy, my brother, and then myself, and then another boy. And so from that point on, he wanted me to study harp. And I had no problem with that. I just loved it.
This is what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, in a nutshell, that's why.
Yes. Okay. And so, are your brothers musicians too?
Yes, we all studied music.
No?
They're not
You're not
professional.
alone.
I'm the only professional, but they played for many years. So.
I grew up in a musical house too. And
It's wonderful, isn't it?
And I'm the only one who can't count.
Oh.
But I can listen.
There you go. We need that.
Yes,
We need
I'm a
advocates.
good listener,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm powerful listener.
Good.
And I'm grateful, and I admire you so much.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
I want to read something that I've found on your somewhere on your
Website or something?
Yeah, your website.
Yeah.
I would say that the sound of plucked string is so powerful that the beings of the world have been transcended by this sound since people and animals were on the planet in one form or another. It's necessary.
Mm-hmm.
It's vital.
Sure.
It's old.
Very.
Very old.
Very, very, very.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it's so.
I'm looking at her face, and she's thrilled. You love this.
Oh well, I'm so thrilled you found that quote because well, it means not just a lot to me, but it's my instrument, what it has done to the world, what it has offered the world. And so this is what drives me. This is what keeps me going. This is why I want to teach it, of course, because this sound is so we can't even describe it really. You know, it's something that affects everyone. You know, no one comes to me and says, "Oh, I hate the harp," right?
Good. And they're lucky.
You know,
They're
might
lucky to say that, because you're not going to shoo them away.
Right. They might say, you know, "Oh, I don't particularly like drums," or "I don't particularly like whatever," but never do I ever say to anyone, "I don't like the sound of the harp." That there's something that grabs us as human beings. The connection of the vibratory connection between a string that's vibrating and the sound in the ear. I don't know. It's very hard to describe, but I really believe that. So, so because of that, it keeps me moving, keeps me teaching, even the very young kids, all the way up through college, and it keeps me performing. You know, moving this thing is a headache. So, as you know.
It is.
So yeah, but every time I feel really grateful that I can do this, that I can offer this to people. So, yeah. And they've discovered, I say I'm not sure who they are, the scientists and medical personnel, that the vibration of the instrument is so powerful that it has helped in curing diseases and cancer, and they use it at bedside quite often for this reason. So, yeah.
That's
it's
wonderful.
Really fascinating.
That's thrilling.
Yeah. So there's
Wow.
a whole nother, career or trade for anybody that wants to go into medicine and study and explore these kinds of things. So,
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, how long have you been teaching?
I think I started teaching while I was still in college. So just a little bit, here and there. But so that's been a long, long time.
Okay.
But recently, I started a school. I started the Sacramento School of Harp. And because I was getting so many requests, not from just kids.
You created
Created it.
The Sacramento School of Harp.
Yes, Sacramento School of
Sacramento School of Harp.
.com.
Okay, good.
And I have so many requests that I have a couple teachers that help me there, help teaching. I've started the Sacramento Harp Ensemble, which we perform as a group together, harps together, young to older. So I have all ages.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what's really fascinating is I'm getting people that are retiring or older, farther along in their career, that really feel the calling, want to do something that's, peaceful. Let's face it, the instrument is, soothing, and it can be, for sure. And so they come to me for that as well. So
Okay.
yeah.
Now, so Phil, we want to be sure to have Kerstin do this before we stop. So ladies and gentlemen, we're going to stop this, and we will get ready, and we get to listen to you.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
So when I'm done playing, we can talk maybe a little bit
Absolutely.
about the piece.
Okay. Yes.
Great.
All
Good.
right. So we'll see you in a moment. Okay, Kerstin, please play this.
I will. This is a song called A Chanson dans la nuit, which translates as Song in the Night, written by a very famous harpist, composer, Carlos Salcedo. He was one of the first harpists with the Metropolitan Opera. And this piece showcases the instrument. It shows you all the different sounds and colors and beautiful attractions of the instrument. So, Song in the Night.
Well, that was lovely.
Thank you.
It was a kick to listen to,
Oh,
and
good.
it's something that you have fun with,
Mm-hmm.
and that anybody who's listening has fun with it too.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
And I saw you doing your hand, your fingers, on the
Oh, yes, on the
wood.
soundboard, yeah.
Is that what he asks for?
Yes, yes.
Oh.
So, not often, but what Salzedo did was kind of codify all of these wonderful sounds and techniques on the harp. This is back, I think this, not exactly sure when this all came out, maybe in the 50s, 1950s. And so composers since then have been using this, have been following this. And so quite often we do tap on the board or, strum guitar-like sounds and this kind of thing. Yeah, yeah.
Do you have a name for that?
For
you named it?
this harp?
This harp?
This is called the canon.
Tannin?
The canon.
Canon.
Canon. Okay. This is a French harp made by Camac in France, and it was one of the first, well, not really one of the first ones, but they started building large pedal harps in the 1980s or so, but this one's from 2000. And when I got it, I was performing with the Detroit Symphony very, very often, sometimes as principal, sometimes as assistant. And the vice president of the orchestra at that time called it the canon because he said it was just like, it would just come shooting off the stage. The sound was so big and so clear and beautiful, and it continues to be. I love this harp.
And I feel sorry for them that you're here now.
Oh, don't feel sorry for them.
Because
be happy.
you
I'm so happy to be here now.
Oh, good.
Yes.
I'm happy. I'm happy that you're here, and I can imagine that you're wandering. You're all over the place.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really, really. So I live actually in Colfax, but my mom is in Auburn and has been lived here. My family is all from around here. My extended family.
Yeah.
So I moved here to be close to her. And my husband retired, and I just love this community.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful. It's really beautiful.
I think it's a wonderful community as well.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Yes.
And you have the Auburn Symphony.
Yes, we do. And you play for them periodically.
Yes, yes. They hire me to come.
Not necessarily regularly, but
right.
Would that be something that you would be? Would you approve that if you did it regularly?
Yeah, I'm pretty regular. It's just that the harp isn't used for every concert.
Okay. Yeah.
So I think they bring in me or another beautiful harpist in this area, Jacqueline Venter.
Yes.
So it's the two of us, pretty much. I mean, whoever can.
Yeah.
Right. But the music itself, when they do movie music or pops, there's of course a lot of harp in that. But a lot of the Romantic era, the Impressionistic era has harps in it. Opera has lots of harps, usually two, sometimes more.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll bring in, and they have a beautiful season. Every year.
You're talking about Auburn
Symphony.
Community. Auburn Symphony. Yeah. I agree.
Yes. So it's wonderful to have that in this community.
Yes,
really.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So where else besides the Auburn Symphony do you play?
Sacramento when they need me. Sacramento Philharmonic and Opera, and when they do some ballet. And they're just like with Auburn, it's a contracted per service. Mm-hmm. I've also played with Stockton and Modesto and Vallejo and
all over.
Just all over. Yeah.
Good.
Reno.
Yeah.
So yeah. So
that's wonderful.
It is wonderful. I love playing with orchestra.
I'm thrilled that that harps are involved everywhere.
Yes.
That's great.
Yes. Yeah, it is. And I feel that in the greater Sacramento area, for sure, there's a need for harpists of all kinds. Not just classical or orchestral playing, but pop and jazz and the folk idiom, you know, the lever harp players. It's just it's a community ripe for this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Okay. And you teach, of course you teach, from 5 to or even
yeah,
younger?
I think usually I start around 8 or 7, something like that. At the school, we can start from about 7 years old, and then all the way up. We have adults and, you know, everything. So it's fun.
And people are, oh, can I? Wonderful.
Yeah.
What
yes.
a kick.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now I have to say it's an expensive instrument to invest in for a kid. So a lot of times the kids will start on a very small instrument, right, with little levers on it,
Yeah.
and then work their way up.
Okay.
Right, and even the adults, you know, they make beautiful lever harps now, fairly large to very small. So it is an investment, but as I tell all my parents and students that are interested, it's beautiful from the moment you touch it. It's just, you can't go wrong, right? Right? Didn't you tell me the quote that's on my website?
Yes.
Which is
well, among other things, yes.
Yeah.
She has this two really wonderful quotes, both from the same guy, Miles Davis, this jazzy guy. And one of them is, "Do not fear mistakes, there are none."
Right.
Because if it might be a mistake, maybe you can do something with it.
That's right. That's where creativity starts, right? You learn about yourself. You learn to change something into something maybe that you feel is not quite right, into something beautiful, right?
Yeah.
And that you can do that for, you know, on the fly.
Yes.
You know?
And granted, it's likely that that quote, a mistake is going to be made sometime, and you should, and you don't want. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do it, and nobody does. But okay, there it is. But you have to keep going.
Yes.
You have to keep going. You can't keep. Wait a minute! I have to do that over again. No, you can't.
Yes.
You have to do another reasonable one.
Yes.
And then there's this other one. I also saw this on your Facebook page. His comment: when you hit a wrong note, it's the next note that you play that determines if it's good or bad.
That's right. That's right. Are you going to get out of it or not?
Yeah. Are you going to stay there, or what are you going to do with it?
Yeah.
And often when I'm writing, I sort of go off in the wrong. Wait a minute. Well, okay, that might be reasonable. I think I'll stay there for a while and see what happens, instead of moving directly where I was supposed to be going.
Right.
But it's like driving. You know, you turn left instead of right, and maybe you see stuff that you've
never seen. Yeah.
Oh my!
Right. And that's you know, I think I don't know what Miles Davis was particularly thinking, but being a musician, yes, that's again the place where creativity happens. You know, it's like this, making a wrong turn, and you discover something incredible, right?
Yes.
But it's also in your writing, in visual arts, in oral
Cooking.
Arts, cooking. You make a mistake, and it turns out, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You know, I really found something beautiful. I found something different.
Yes.
You know?
And and especially for children. No, we have to do it this way. Oh, I've got to do it this way.
Yeah.
But I can't do it this way. But what are you doing instead?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's your voice?
Yeah.
That's what we're looking for as musicians. That's trying to find our own personality, our own way of expression, you know, that's individual, right? And that's a lifelong quest for anybody, really, but particular musicians, right?
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
So even a child, you know, I'll say, what is the piece about? What are you trying to portray?
Mhm.
What do you feel? How does it make that piece? What does it do for you?
Yeah.
Right? What does it inspire you?
Yeah.
So, and we all have different viewpoints, right?
Sure.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
Now, I'm thinking about I don't know what they are.
The strings.
Strings?
Yeah.
Some of them are red.
Yes.
What does that mean?
Those are C's. The note C.
I told Phil that they were C's. But he said, how do you know? Well, no, I don't know.
But it seems about right.
I'm so proud of myself.
Yes. And the dark ones, sometimes they're black, sometimes they're dark blue, are F.
Okay.
Right? So if you're just going up the scale, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C.
Okay.
But because the harp is so visual, right, we have to have those points to find ourselves.
Okay.
It's the ability to focus on the strings, right? If the strings were all the same color, your eyes would have a difficult time focusing on that and would probably pick up something behind it.
Yeah.
So this is why we have.
And the only time I've ever seen people doing harps in movies is when I was seeing them, the black and white movies.
Mm-hmm.
And so they weren't colorful. How would you know? I couldn't figure that out. And I'm glad to know that.
Yes, yes. Harpo
really
Marx
happy.
was playing, he was playing concert grand harp.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. So what do you have, what suggestions do you have for beginning musicians?
That's a good question. I think the most way that you can move forward, right, as a young musician, is to just keep at it. Like with anything that we learn, right? We have to allow time for our minds and bodies to soak it in.
Because pretty soon you're going to get better.
Yes.
Slowly, yes.
Yes.
But you're going to get better.
And it's a detailed work. It's a concentrated work. It's a beautiful way to be like really present in something. But for kids, it's fun at the beginning. And we want to keep that element, right? We want to keep that element of joy and curiosity. But at some point, as they begin to progress, then, you do need to push them a little bit, because now if you want to do this, you have to learn how to go from A to B to C. So there needs to be dedication and commitment, right? And knowing that, yes, you can achieve whatever you want to achieve.
Okay.
Once you just keep going at it.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
And why do you think music is important?
Oh boy. You know that. You know the answer to that.
We don't have half an hour, do we?
No. No. But it's like at the beginning when we were talking about the sound of the instrument. That's why it's important. It takes the human being to someplace else, no matter what kind of music you're listening to. Sometimes we like to dance. Sometimes we like to be sorrowful. Sometimes we just like to be contemplative. These are things that music teaches us that we can feel and we can associate with. So,
Okay.
But there's so many good reasons, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Because it makes you feel good.
Yes.
Sometimes it makes me weep.
But that's part of being.
And usually when I weep, I'm thrilled.
Yes. It's the human experience, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we want to live that,
Yeah.
right? We have to be there. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. It's half an hour. Kerstin, thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you.
It was my pleasure.
Yeah,
Enjoy.
And
Thank you.
we've been happy to have you with us, and I've been happy to have you here. Thank you.